Okay, I hope I'm audible and visible. I welcome all of you to our third day of Talent Hunt, and let's begin. I'll call upon Alaufa first. Alaufa Sharif.
Good evening, everyone. Um, what I'm planning to do today is I'll be reciting two poems that I've written. The first one is titled Why, and this poem, this poem is like the first poem that I've written, and it has been, I think, a year before that I have written it, and this is how it goes. Why is it hard to trust but easy to fall prey? Why do we yearn for more when we do give so little? Why do we get so intimate if it was for a game of ignorance? Why do we go search for happiness when we are never content? Why do we judge others when we are no better than any? Why is it hard to love, but a cauldron of hatred brims? Why is it hard to forgive, but expect to be forgiven? Why do we make things complicated and then say life's a mess? Man is a queer creature, gifted with a thinking power. Why do we use it so little? Oh, why do we use it so little? So that's the first poem. And the second poem is titled Forever. And here it goes. Those soothing words that cajole any heart. I'll stay by your side forever. When times were good and days were bright, you proved to adhere by it. Well, then came the storm, the chaos, the mess, and with it the bitter truth. Forever's engulf one, weaving a web of hope. So fragile are those webs, a swift breeze could break 'em. All that's left would be a scar that mocks at you. I'll stay by your side forever, it says, and for once, forever turned out to be true. Thank you.
Thank you, Alaufa. That was beautiful. Next, I call Hanna Sadak.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Hanna.
Okay, so today I will be reading out a story that I have written. Actually, I'm not someone who's really into writing stories, and that too in English. I prefer to write nonfiction, or I prefer to write essays and poetry more than stories. And this is the first story that I have attempted in English. I've named it as Her Story, so I hope you'll like it. So here it goes. Mother poured the warm coconut oil and gently massaged my scalp. Her fingers drew amazing patterns in my head, and I closed my eyes and slipped into my daydreams. I dreamt of a majestic prince riding on his horseback, and I imagined meeting him and falling in love instantly. Now, don't judge me, because I was that girl who literally grew up hearing the good old fairy tales of happy princes and fair princesses who fell in love at first sight and always got a happily ever after. So, I saw no reason as to why the same wouldn't happen to me. Love at first sight, soulmates, and epic love stories was my reality. And my grandma constantly encouraged my fantasies, telling me that my Rajkumar will come for me soon. My golden skin, shiny, sparkling eyes, and long, thick hair would make anyone fall in love, she assured me. I impatiently waited for matrimony. My marriage was my only dream. But however, when I first saw my husband, I didn't feel anything. No butterflies, no fireworks inside my head, no churning sensation in my stomach, no increase in my heartbeat. I didn't fall in love with him instantly, and I panicked that something was really wrong with me. I went to my grandma and said that maybe he wasn't my Rajkumar. But grandma insisted that he is and said that love will follow marriage. He was a well settled man from a very prestigious family. What more could a girl ask for? He had the wealth to look after me for the rest of my life. And just like that, I was married to him soon after. I was a good girl, the warm, kind hearted, pretty girl who never said no. I was taught to say yes to whatever the men in the house demanded, to not complain about anything. I was taught that after marriage, my husband is my God and that I should never, never ever go against his wishes and desires. No matter what it is, I was always expected to comply, to respect and love him forever, and to remain loyal to him. And all these were promised to him by my family before marriage. He found the good girl, good wife deal pretty good. Now, why wouldn't he? The fairy tales with happy endings are incomplete stories. In reality, the story doesn't end with the princess getting married, and there is no such thing as happily ever after. Fairy tales were nothing but lies. There are many stories to be told. There are stories of girls who never got to meet their prince, girls who forget to be happy after marriage, girls locked up in ivory towers by their husbands. I didn't fall in love with him like they said, and I felt guilty for that. I tried hard to love him, bit by bit, but he wasn't making it any easier. He didn't wanted my heart. He just wanted to keep me by his side. He just wanted to have me like a toy. And he didn't like to give up on his toys, even if he wasn't fond of them. He was satisfied as long as I didn't question him. He was happy to have me to cook, clean, maintain his house, and to warm his bed. He didn't ask for anything more and reminded me often with slaps that I shouldn't either. Obedience, that's all I'm asking for. Don't feel too special just because of that chain around your neck. You're just one among the many. Just one among them. He constantly reminded me. He liked my long hair. He liked to ruffle it when he was happy with me and to grab my hair, to keep my head in place to slap me properly or to hit my head on the wall. The chain around my neck gave him the right to do that, he said. I can't go around hitting others, but you are my wife. I can do anything with you. I was his shield to protect his honor, pride, and prestige. And the shield is bound to take all the blows without complaints. My golden skin often changed colors, blue and purple with multiple bruises. My eyes lost a sparkle from the flood of tears every night. I became his wife and nothing more. Gradually, I forgot my name too. And then one day, I received a call. He died with one of his mistresses in a car accident. I sighed and cut my hair, and the chopped hair strands called my name again. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanna. That was really amazing. Next, I call Mufliha Munir.
Good evening, everyone. So, today I'm going to present one of my small write-up. Uh, it's starting with a short story. The story may be familiar to you all. Um, the disciple once asked his guru, "Guru, my problems are not over. They're following me one after another. How can I escape from this? Have you ever had something in your life that you will never forget?" The guru asked in return. Yes, I have a weakness that makes me unreasonably angry. I want to treat others with love, but no one loves me back, he replied. The master gave him an empty cow and said, "Well, now do as I say. Say, when you get angry, you should take a potato and put it in the cover. This cover should always be with you." The next day onwards, the disciple started to do as the guru said. Whenever he got angry, he put a potato in the cover. Days passed. The weight of the cow on his shoulder came on as well. The places he traveled were filled with the smell of rotten potatoes. Every time people saw him, they turned away. The disciple came to Guru with a full bag of rotten potatoes. "Guru, this cow is full. What should I do now?" he asked. "When people see you, do they blow their noses?" Guru asked him. "Yes, they cover their noses and move away from me. They are looking at me very sharply. They are blaming me," he said. Dear boy, the potatoes you put in your cow are rotting and stinging every day. It is just that you have gotten into the habit of carrying that cover. You don't know it. But people know that. That's why they deviate from your way. Hate is just like this. It is in this form that the cause of hatred in unforgettable experiences that stay in mind, it breaks your peace. Do not carry the burden of the hatred in your mind. Get it all down. Painful experiences often add weight to a person's heart. It builds up in the mind as stress and depression. Naturally, his words and reactions will be like the stains of intolerance. It will destroy the good in him and without him knowing it. Man is of a different nature. They are as diverse in their response to problems as they are in their preferences. There is a famous quote by Martin Luther King Jr. that is, darkness cannot drive out darkness only. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mufliha. Next, we have Rida.
Good evening, everyone. Uh, I'll be presenting one of my two talents. My two talents. Actually, I'm very nervous. I'm outside with my mother. I'm not prepared for well for an introduction. I'll Shraddha will be presenting two of my videos. My dance performance and my video editing skills.
I don't know why I can't play the video. Okay. That was Rida's video editing and her dance was there, but I can't play it. So, yeah, that's all for today. Thank you all for joining.